There was a time when I genuinely believed perfection was real. Every single morning that I opened my eyes and saw her beside me, I truly felt like I had found it. The way her jet black hair spilled like ink over the pale pillowcase, her soft little snores syncing rhythmically with my breathing, and the way she casually curled her arm around me like she'd done 100 times before. It all felt surreal, as if the universe had chosen its favorite daydream, stitched it into a human form, and gifted her to me, my wife, Alina. To the outside world, we were the dream team. We smiled easily at every get-together, stayed glued to each other's hands during weddings, attended countless holidays and funerals side by side. 8 years together, 5 married. People around us would often say we were their relationship goals. They didn't have a clue. But then again, neither did I. I was a teacher. She was an interior designer. We met at a charity fundraiser, an event I was guilted into attending by a nosy colleague who thought I needed a night out. They weren't wrong, but I had no idea I'd meet someone like her there. She had this aura, classy, without being cocky. Her laughter filled a room without needing to dominate it. She remembered the tiniest things, like a book I offhandedly mentioned back in college, or the way I liked my coffee, just shy of piping hot. She saw me. She listened. She asked questions that held weight. By our third date, I was a mess for her. By the sixth, I just knew. Within a year, we were exchanging vows beneath a warm sun in a cozy gathering of 30. She planned it meticulously, down to the table runner fabric. She didn't want luxury. Simple, she said, but meaningful. That was Alina. Thoughtful, present, intentional. It never dawned on me that I was marrying a stranger. It didn't crumble all at once. Lies like hers are never spontaneous. They're crafted slowly. The first was harmless, almost absurd. A missed phone call. She claimed to be working late at a client's house, but when I dialed her studio's landline, her assistant casually mentioned she'd left early. I let it slide. Maybe she ran another errand. Maybe she was tired and forgot to call. The next night, her phone rang just past midnight. She quickly silenced it and rolled away. Wrong number, she mumbled. The third lie? She vanished for an entire weekend, supposedly visiting her cousin in the mountains. When I casually asked how it went, she muttered, "Relaxing," but couldn't recall the name of the town. I laughed. She didn't. That was the moment something in me shifted. A subtle unease, a flicker of realization. Alina was a creature of habit. Every morning at 6:15 a.m., she brewed jasmine tea, watered the orchids by the window, lush and waxy in every season, then took a 20-minute shower while her wake-up playlist filled the air. Routine keeps me grounded, she used to say. I need predictability. And then the cracks appeared. One day, I noticed a mysterious key ring in her purse. It wasn't mine. Didn't belong to our home. On it, in bold silver letters, Marcellus. She claimed it was a gift from a client's boutique opening. Fancy, I said, hoping for a chuckle. She didn't laugh. She dodged my gaze, changed the topic. And those eyes, once brimming with sincerity, suddenly seemed distant. I started watching more closely. Not out of jealousy. I wish that were the reason. But sometimes curiosity is survival, dressed as suspicion. She went on a girls' spa night with old school friends. I stayed home, grading papers and trying to ignore the storm brewing in my gut. Then at 11:30 p.m., a courier rang the bell. For Alina. I didn't open it immediately. I stared at it for 30 minutes. A plain manila envelope, no return address, not even my name. but something about the late-night urgency screamed foul. I gave in. Inside were photographs, piles of them. Alina, holding hands with another man, laughing in parks I didn't recognize, kissing, reflected in boutique windows, sitting beside a fire, wine glass in hand, in what looked like a rustic Airbnb, books scattered, blanket thrown over his lap. It felt intimate. It felt personal. Not a work thing. Not something new. In one picture, she wore the necklace I'd given her for our anniversary. In another, he had it. Not around his neck, but hanging from his wrist as a keychain. Marcellus. That night, I didn't say a word. Or the one after. Why? There's no simple answer to, what would you even say? Because what happened next was maddening. She came home glowing, refreshed, even loving. She kissed my cheek, made my favorite pasta, asked about my day like she genuinely cared. And maybe, in her own twisted way, she did. But the realization hit hard. This wasn't just cheating. She had two lives. And she was a master at managing both. There were two Alinas, the one who made soup when I was sick, who danced with me in the kitchen when our favorite 90s songs came on, who wept at old movies, who kissed my forehead goodnight, and the other one, the liar behind the curtain, who crafted stories like plays, who kept double calendars like a magician balancing acts. I wasn't her partner. I was her cover. I started documenting things, not for revenge, for understanding. I found emails, texts, calendar events she thought she'd erased. I even visited the Airbnb from one of the photos. The host remembered them. Such a sweet couple, he said. Newlyweds? I smiled, didn't correct him. Some nights I lay beside her, listening to her breathe, counting each inhale, wondering how someone so warm could bury such icy secrets. I grieved her while she still slept next to me. Then came the night I told her. She came in soaked from rain, blaming a sudden downpour. Sit, I told her. No yelling, no rage, just the photos, spread across the table. Her face drained of color. She said nothing for a while. Finally, she whispered, "How long have you known?" "Long enough," I replied. Tears swelled in her eyes. I never meant to hurt you. The first honest thing I'd heard from her in ages. I was never enough for you, was I? I asked. But I wasn't expecting an answer. Still, she gave one. You were too good for me. I thought if I pretended, I might become someone worthy of you. Pretended. The word hung between us, cold and spectral. She left that night. No scenes, no pleas. Just a quiet goodbye, a single suitcase, and the soft click of a closing door. I didn't follow. I poured myself a drink, shut the lights, and stood in the darkness of what used to be our kitchen. I don't know if she loved him. I'm not even sure she ever truly loved me. But I do know this. She played the perfect wife so well. Even I believed it. But none of it was real. Not the smiles. Not the plans. Not the shared dreams. She wasn't building a life. She was putting on a show. It's been 1 year and 1 month since she vanished from my life. The orchids died 2 weeks after. I couldn't bring myself to replace them. I still have the photos. Not for anger, but as a reminder that even the shiniest surfaces can mask crumbling cores. That perfection is often just performance. I've begun dating again, slowly. And I'm learning how to trust, even when fear whispers otherwise. But this time, I'm not searching for perfect, just truthful. If this story touched you, tap the heart and send it to someone who's ever questioned what lies behind a smile. Leave a comment. Have you ever loved someone who turned out to be a character in disguise?